2016, President Kenyatta named a committee to work out strategies for the revival of the coffee business following the near collapse of the subsector.
Nearly 3 years later, the committee says it has recorded various successes in its work and has organized a breakfast meeting to highlight what is being done so far. And of course, our business reporter Dennis Otieno is covering that story and will be able to get even further details once we get in touch with him, or even as in our subsequent bulletins. But still sticking on the issue of coffee farmers.
The committee, of course, that we refer to, says it has made big strides, but what is the situation on the ground? Have those successes translated to tangible gains for farmers?
Well, our reporter from Nyeri, Martin Munene, has been talking to coffee farmers there. Martin, it's good to see you this morning. What are coffee farmers saying on the ground?
All right, very good morning to you. This morning I want to speak to a coffee farmer and a consultant on matters coffee to understand whether these coffee reforms initiated by President Uhuru Kenyatta have any impact when it comes to the ground. Are farmers even aware that there are coffee reforms taking place? And more importantly, what is the state of the coffee industry on the ground as we speak? A very good morning to you, sir. Kindly introduce yourself briefly and tell us from where you stand. You speak to a lot of farmers. You yourself are a farmer. Do farmers even understand what this whole coffee reforms agenda is about?
Thank you. My name is Paul Mohoro. I'm a coffee farmer and also a coffee consultant. We are discussing the coffee regulations of 2019. Let me say it is a good thing that has come at the right time, especially in the sector where we need to specify categorically what is the role of the national government and also the county government. We have a very good regulation that is in place. Unfortunately, several farmers are not aware of the regulations. The regulations are good. They are also not happy with some of the parts, especially the part of trading and the marketing of coffee. Okay. So if you visit several farmers, they are not aware of these good things. And also there are others who are bitter with some of the clauses that they are not happy, and they need them to be reviewed before they're implemented. All
right. Maybe what are some of the clauses that farmers have a problem with, and maybe why do you as farmers have a problem with these clauses?
Let me go to part 4 on trading and marketing of coffee. The regulations state categorically that we have 2 forms of trading, that is the auction and the direct trade. The part number 23 gives the authority to farmer to do direct trade. But if you go to part number 4, it does not allow farmers to do trading through the auction. Where will these farmers sell coffee if they don't manage to sell their coffee through the direct trade? Remember, Kenya is doing only 20 to 35% direct trade. Where will the 65% of the coffee farmers go if they opt the direct trade? They will still go back to the same marketing agents whom they have been complaining about. So regulation was to have allowed farmers also to participate in the auction. And that's why several farmers who have read the regulations are not happy with the part of the auction where they are denied to participate in the auction. The reason why they are denied, it is not categorically stated that a farmer can participate in the regulation. If you go back to the part of part 2 on licensing, farmers have been given several licenses, only denied a license to appear in the auction. Coffee belongs to them. Remember, when you are participating in the coffee task force, some of the issues that farmer raised was especially on marketing, because they are not allowed to do the auction things. So why are they not allowed also to participate in the auction if the coffee is theirs? Let them be given the authority to decide. Do I go to the marketing agent to do for me the auction, or myself as a coffee grower, that's a cooperative or an estate farm, I can participate in the auction as well?
All right. And maybe before I let you go, there's the issue of cooperatives. Yes. We saw that the coffee task force was going around talking to cooperatives, and I've also talked to a lot of farmers. They have a lot of issues with cooperatives. Yes. Now, cooperatives are under the county government. Yes. In your opinion as a coffee farmer, what needs to be done to ensure that farmers also have a voice in when it comes to matters cooperatives and their interests are championed by the cooperatives therein?
Thank you. The regulations were so categorical, especially on the side of electing leaders in the cooperative. Farmers should, it's their responsibility to elect people who have integrity, people who know the coffee issues. So I take it back to we as the farmers. Let us elect leaders who can represent us well, people who have capacity. Like when you talk of the direct trade, it cannot be done by every leader of a cooperative. Let us, we as farmers, elect people who have the capacity, people who have experience, and also people who are ready to serve, and they have a lot of integrity.
All right. My last question would be, for example, in Madeira here in Nyeri County, 5 cooperative societies have collapsed. As I let you go, do you think that the coffee sector will be able to come up, especially with these coffee reforms initiated by President Kenyatta? Do you think that coffee will go back to the glory days when people used to use coffee to educate their children? What is your take on that?
Allow me to make it clear here. There is no any other cash crop or a commodity crop that will do better than coffee.
Okay.
You cannot compare tea with coffee. You cannot compare any other crop with coffee. So it will come back. What we need with those cooperatives that have problems, we need to elect people who are serious leaders, people who have integrity, people who have the farmer at heart. And the farmer has the responsibility to elect people who can represent them in those leadership. So to my opinion, because there is no any other crop that can give them more money than coffee, they'll still go back to the same crop. But unfortunately, it has only come at a wrong time, because this year we are experiencing the lowest price ever for the last 10 years. Since when did we have our coffee trading at $110 per 50 kg? That is grade A and AB. So farmers are caught in a mix-up. They are finding it difficult. Do we blame the leaders or do we blame the market? We blame the two. But the market carries more weight, because it is this year where we are selling coffee at the auction. Today is an auction day. Just wait in the evening to see there is coffee that traded below $100. So how do we now convince those farmers to get back to farming? So those are the external factors that may force farmers to abandon coffee as well, and that's why we need the regulation under Part 4 to deal seriously with the marketing of coffee. Because farmers don't know, do we blame the leaders for these prices or do we blame the government for the prices? Right, so those farmers are caught in a mix-up.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes.
All right, Sam, I think you're getting the picture here. This particular farmer and consultant saying that, for example, this year, the worst prices ever for the past 10 years, which means, there's nothing to smile about for a coffee farmer, because that means that they will be receiving, less pay this year compared to past years. But it's also saying that a very important thing is that a lot of farmers do not understand who the reforms are about, what these new regulations are about, and therefore they may not be able to benefit from reforms and changes in the sector. He's also brought up some very important factors about the issue of marketing. Now, in Nyeri County, I think there's only one factory, one coffee society across the entire country that has been able to negotiate a deal where they're able to actually sell their coffee externally out of the country directly. And as we speak, I think they're actually the people who've received the most money. They've received 100 shillings per kilo. That is in the Roine Coffee Society. They are able to actually negotiate a deal with an external buyer. But a lot of farmers across the country are not in a position to do this. And therefore, they just have to wait for brokers and middlemen to determine the price. And you can find that up to, there are farmers who actually get as little as 10 shillings per kg, which means that it is not beneficial to them, and it's an economic activity that is only, punitive to them, because they spend a lot of time, a lot of money, but they do not get any returns. But he says there's hope. If farmers can be able to, find a way to actually use these laws to their advantage, find a way to market their coffee, then he says there's not a single crop in the country that can be able to benefit a farmer like coffee does. Back to you in studio, Sam, and from Nyeri County, I'm Martin Monene.